What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Appreciate you guys tuning in for another video. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. We're still doing 3 videos a week right now, so we don't want you to miss out on any of those future videos. Man, so one of the biggest questions, or the most asked question that I've got so far this year, whether it's in the comments section of a fishing video, whether it's at the gas station, whether it's at the boat ramp, doesn't matter. That question is, what the heck are these trolling motors hanging off my power poles? That's what we're going to dive in and talk about here today. Why I feel like these things are an excellent tool for boat positioning, and not even just the uses that you might think. These things are awesome. They are called power brakes. So they are my power brakes is, what these are, and they're really unique in a lot of ways. So we're going to dive in and talk all about that, and then I'll kind of show you how I use them, situations, that kind of stuff. But we'll really get into the weeds on why I feel like everybody should have a set of power brakes on their boat. Okay, so there's a few different versions of these out. I mean, I'm sure you've seen all different kinds by now, but I really did a lot of research this year and I settled on these ones right here. These are called the power brakes. And the main reason I decided on these is the mounting, the equipment that mounts to the actual power pole. It is second to none as far as the mount that holds these trolling motors. Now, a lot of these trolling motors are all the same. You know, they're 30 pound thrust or 40 pound thrust, just Minn Kota hand control trolling motors. They chop the top off, wire them up nice and neat, and then figure out a bracket that holds them to your power poles or to your Raptors. And these power brakes have what's called the sidekick mount. That's what I have on here. So the mount actually, bolts to the power pole right up here. But what's really cool is this up here is a breakaway system. So this little bolt right here runs through and it keeps this piece connected to the part that actually mounts to your power pole. So what would happen if you were to hit a stump or hit something that would typically break your trolling motor? What happens is this little breakaway pin breaks and you just slide a new one in and you're good to go. So this would swing out. You can kind of see that little bit of movement there, but this whole bracket would actually slide up and slide out rather than breaking something down on the trolling motor. So that bracket, that sidekick setup is the main reason I went with the power brakes this year. And they are legit. I absolutely love them. No issues so far. And got a really cool feature up front, which I'm going to show you here right now. Okay, so whenever I get to an area where I know I'm going to be spending a lot of time on the trolling motor, just kind of fishing around, and it really doesn't even have to be out in the middle of the lake. When you think of the brakes, or when I originally thought of the brakes, I thought you had to be out, chasing, fish that are on bait fish out in the middle of the lake. But here we're in the back of a pocket. There's a couple laydowns in front of me, and I utilize my brakes even in a scenario just like this, and I'll show you exactly why. But whenever I get to an area like this where I know I'm going to be fishing real slow and thorough, I immediately hit the down button on my power pole until those brakes get down into the water. So I typically stop them just like this when the frame of the power pole isn't quite in the water, so there's less drag, but those motors are still down far enough that when I hit the button, it's going to stop the boat and kind of reverse us if need be. Okay, so you may see these 2 buttons right here next to my trolling motor pedal. That is my reverse right there. So that will stop this boat on a dime and actually take us backwards. So that one gets used the most by far, obviously. Anytime you want to stop the boat, if you need to reverse out. I mean, one use that I found that everybody could use is when you throw up on the bank and you get hung up. That happens to everybody. You get hung up, you troll in there with this trolling motor, but it gets so shallow, you start grinding on the rocks or the bottom or whatever, you're going to chew up your trolling motor prop. Now, when I get in there, I literally pull this trolling motor up and just back out with my brakes. Just back on out. It's really simple. You don't have to chew up your trolling motor in the front, and just another use that, I didn't even realize when I bought these, but it's truly incredible. Now, the other button next to it, that's actually a forward. So it reverses the polarity of the power and it actually turns the trolling motors backwards, which would be pushing the boat forward. So there's mounted on the power poles where technically forward on the trolling motor is pushing the boat backwards. But when you reverse the power, it reverses the prop on there, which in turn pushes the boat forward. Not quite as fast, but it definitely gives you a little nudge forward. So I found myself using this when, if I'm up here sight fishing, looking at bedding fish, and I need to just nudge the boat a little bit forward. And I don't want to use my big trolling motor to kind of maybe spook the fish or whatever. I just need a little nudge. That's when I just touch that little forward button. Just kind of nudge you forward just a little bit. It keeps that noise, that prop wash, 20 some feet away from the front of the boat. If you measured from this prop to those props, I guess, well, it's longer than the boat technically. So it's probably, you're looking at 23, 24 feet difference of where that prop is spinning in the water, where that noise is coming from, where that prop wash is coming from. And that can make a big difference when you get up close and personal with fish. So that's just another use that I've found for my power brakes. And man, super impressed with them. Awesome piece of equipment. It's just another tool for me for boat positioning. Like I said, I find myself using them for every situation I'm fishing. If I'm fishing the bank, if I'm fishing in the middle of the lake, obviously, if I'm fishing brush piles or things like that where I want to make sure I really control the boat, they're obviously getting used out there to make sure I don't get the boat too close to those areas. But situations like this, fishing the bank, they're definitely a use for them, and I absolutely love using them. I am glad they are still permitted on the Bass Pro Tour, unlike some other leagues. But appreciate you guys tuning in for this video. Let me know what you think of the power brakes. Have you seen them before? Did I answer all your questions? If you got any more questions, drop them in the comments down below and I'll do my best to answer those for you. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Leave me those likes, comments, good stuff down below. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you guys next time.